The long awaited.
Highly anticipated.
Highly anticipated.
21.
20 years in the still going on. Jay-Z fans still crying.
20 years. No. Listen, the way Nas fans treat this, shit is crazy on Twitter. It feels like when they speak about Ether and Takeover or Jay versus Nas still, and I think Jay and Nas just laughing about this shit. It's like a penis envy contest. Like I don't know, the way they talk, the way Nas fans talk on Twitter and online chat room, it's like they gotta say all this type of shit just to feel like they gotta measure up to Jay. And it's not even the accolades, man, but it's some weird shit. I'm sorry. But let's get into this shit.
The same shit could be said for Jay-Z fans. And I'm a fan of both.
Of course.
And I'm more of a fan of Jay-Z. I'm more of a fan of Jay-Z. But it's Ether versus Takeover. It started, we forgot we had that in the stash, but we reposted it yesterday. First of all, explain your position on this song, these two songs, which is ridiculous, but explain your position.
It's actually not ridiculous. I mean, that's how I feel. The way I see it, and not at the time, but as time has progressed, it's been 20 years. It'll be the anniversary this summer of beef really taking off. I always felt like, well, not always, but I feel like Takeover is the better song. Ether is the better. Like, that disc served its purpose. It was the napalm bomb. It was Nas's saving grace, because a lot of people felt like, yo, once Takeover dropped that summer and the momentum Jay-Z had at that time, there was no way he was coming back. Even when he took at the Summer Jam, he spit the verse about Prodigy and then had the last bar, ask Nas, he don't wonder what Hove. Everyone went nuts. He had the Michael Jackson there, the whole spectacle. It was crazy. No one knew like Jay had that verse on that Takeover song backed up, waiting to come out, because Nas dropped the whiskey style over the Rakim joint.
Stillmatic.
Shoot through, the Stillmatic joint. And then when Takeover dropped, like it was that August or that late July, because when the blueprint was leaking, and we heard that shit in the streets, yo, thought it was over. The Takeover, the break's over. Yo, listen, hearing Jay bring up the Nas, that's a one hot album every 10-year average. Like, yo, bro, it was just a different feel, man. Everywhere it was being played. Like, Brooklyn was going crazy. I mean, I can speak from Brooklyn's perspective because I was there. Like, it was just a different feel. But when that Ether dropped on December 4th, Jay-Z's birthday, and most people online, they refer to Jay-Z's birthday Ether Day. Nas fans, to this day, 20 years, these are the same guys you talk about. Jay-Z fans are still mad 20 years. Nas fans, grown-ass men, are still in hip-hop for to this day. Oh, today's Ether Day, y'all. We got to play Ether a million times today to celebrate. Nas dropped the napalm bomb. I got to be honest. When I first heard it, I didn't want to tell nobody I heard that shit. Bro, it hurt my feelings. It felt like I got smacked in the face, disrespected, like someone spit in my mother's face. I was like, oh. Yo, just hearing the reactions from like Lenny S and Bleak and them, you know, how it went down when they heard it. Like, man, son, like I felt like someone took my lunch money. It just, at that point, that momentum for Jay was at his peak. Like Jay was riding a high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was riding a high. That momentum was crazy. And then when that shit dropped, niggas is like, yo, Jay took a L. I would not lose. Jay took a L there, man. That's how I felt. Damn. What a year 2001 was. Go ahead.
That time period was ill, back and forth. He was supposed to battle Jadakiss. He was just throwing shots at Jada. And then Beanie ended up jumping in, and it was an ill move. It was a trash move by Jay-Z. And then obviously he was setting up the thing with Nas. But we could set up the background to it. But my thing is what you just said right now. That people don't understand what Meek Mill was going through was what happened to Jay-Z fans in 2000, like super fans. I'm a fan of Jay-Z, but it got to the point where he was so popular, like a Drake, that it was annoying. Like the mere fact that, yes, people were saying that Nas fell off. That was a thing in the street. But for a Nas fan, we were always like, we heard Nostradamus, and that was the last straw. That was like, what is that? Because it wasn't just the fact that we knew that we would just like gassed up off his potential. No, he had shit in the street that eventually came out on Lost tapes that was all rocking. It was what we wanted to hear from Nas. The freestyle that he had on Clue to set that summer off. That you're the king with the tail between his legs was about Jay-Z, and it was dope. So when we heard that, we were like, yo, why wasn't that on your album? That's where a super Nas fan, that's what we were thinking. But for the most part, everyone was thinking what Jay-Z was saying. That was my problem with Takeover. That everyone was saying, he was just repeating, that's what you do when you tell jokes. That's what a diss is. But my thing with Takeover was I heard it, and I'm like, yo, it was dope. Obviously, once he dropped the whole Nas Don't Want It with Hove, I knew he had something in the stash. It sounded like it. He was setting him up. Jay-Z's a better showman than Nas. He's a better showman than Nas. To have Michael Jackson there, then you drop that line the year before. He said the thing about 50 Cent. I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent? It was his annual ritual to make Hot 97 popping or Summer Jam popping. So for him, it was just this great buildup. And like you said, it felt like a peak. But there's the amount of dick riding that was going on. Because we didn't get to see Big hitting 30 years old. Big and Pac hitting to 30 years old and hitting his stride. Like Blueprint was, oh shit, Jay-Z's growing up. That was beautiful music. We heard little snippet versions of that on the Dynasty album. So when the Blueprint drops, this is amazing. All right. But then we hear Takeover. We hear the verse. Nas drops Stillmatic. I said, oh, that was just a taste. He's setting up Jay-Z. And everyone thought I was bugging. Then the verse drops. Oh, he slept with his baby moms. Oh, you wildin'. There's no way he could win. And the first thing I said was, he ain't the first person to do that. He's not the first person to do that. None of this is original. How original is this dude? And that led up to the battle. And Ether dropped. And when Ether dropped, it's exactly what you said. Every person that was talking shit about Nas was all of a sudden a Nas fan. Not like, oh, there was no more talk of Jay-Z. They thought Jay-Z's career was over at that point. We always forget that part. That Jay-Z fans were so hurt. Stans. Oh, look, in the dirt. In the dirt. People were like, because remember, at the time we thought this could go someplace else. Also, that's another thing about this battle. That we thought this could go somewhere else. And we didn't really want it to go somewhere else, but the streets are the streets. That's another thing about this battle that doesn't get talked about. It didn't go as far as it could have, and we should be glad about that because it's still the best battle in rap history, right? You wouldn't agree? You would agree with that?
Yes.
So for me, from when Ether dropped, what happened was it drops on the radio. It came out the night before. I heard it on K Slay like the night before, 2 nights before. Then eventually, when Hot 97 got wind of it, Angie Martinez, they do a competition between Ether versus Super Ugly, which was Jay-Z's response, which wasn't good. It wasn't good. And that was the first time after the results of that when I really saw Jay-Z fans in denial. Yo, if she would have put Takeover on that, bro, I don't care what Jay-Z had for that. He was not overcoming the shock of what Ether was. That's my issue. All the lies started there for Jay-Z fans. All the excuses. Yo, Ether's full of lies. There's nothing truthful about it. Everything on Takeover is the truth. Like, is it? Is it true? Is everything on Takeover true?
What is not true?
One hot
What
album
isn't
every
true?
10-year average. One hot album every 10-year average. You ain't get a coin. I know who I paid, God. Searchlight Publishing. That's not true. You made it a hotline. These are things that, to me, because MC Search, he's the one who said, yeah,
Yeah.
Nas. No, that's not way. Don't just say yeah. Jay-Z fans do not know that. Do you understand what I'm saying? At the time, it was like Nas getting fucked, this, that, and the third. Jay-Z got this one up on him, and it wasn't true. So now we got the major things about Takeover. What are the major points? That Nas is a fake. He's not who he says he is. He's not a real tough dude. And what else? He fell off, and I fucked this girl. Right? For
It's a
me,
lot.
right. But it's not, but it's these are diss records. So it's all about the haymakers, it's all about the wow factor. That's all the other shit. If we're just talking about what you like more, all right, cool. If you like this song better, then there's no argument. But this is the little in-depth that we get into. For me, there were a lot of truths in Ether. One, yo, dog, you been on my dick. The beginning. You've been trying to get me on your records from when you first got on. You've been mentioning me on every single album, whether you sample me, whether you talk about me. Now you sleeping with my girl. You kind of obsessed with me. This was your OG, and Nas name a rapper that iron influence.
The sleeping that is that like, oh, I gotta sleep with Carmen because Nas was with Carmen? Come on, bro. Come on.
No,
That's
but no,
nah.
no, but his point is, and he says it later on, slept with the bitches I slept. Like you're trying to be me. It's just Nas's swagger. And that's not even right. Whatever, I'll give you that. But the whole let's get age test was the result not positive. Who's the best? Pac, Nas, and Big. You forget you just called me the best? How dare you? There was so much. Ether wasn't just, it wasn't a lie. You dick rided your way to the top. You went the commercial route. Went from Kane to Irv to Big to Eminem. Like everything Nas was saying was not everything. A lot of it was true. There was a lot of truth to what Nas was saying. A lot. Tybo Ho trying to get Brolic. He was, and then the week before he was on MTV practicing boxing. It was just funny, man. Like once it got too serious, but we got to break down the lyrics like that, and all of a sudden we don't understand nuances, we don't understand metaphors. Oh, word, damn! You took. It's like me and you dissing each other right now. We're just joking around, and one of us gets serious. Yo, man, you went. Yo, I don't know, but that wasn't really that. Yo, all right, this ain't funny no more. This ain't dissing no more. Like y'all getting you broke down the lyrics like that bad. We just talked about the bridge is over and no Vaseline. Was NWA getting fucked with no Vaseline for real? Like in real life?
Oh, come on.
So it was funny. It was just funny. The bridge is over. Queens niggas be faking it. It's just funny. You know, I'm from Queens. I'm not. It was so hard body that it was that you had to wear that. Like it was. That's what makes a diss record great. And I think that that was the first time I saw, like,
Yes.
damn, you guys are real fanatics of this guy. And then from there, every 5 years, it would be something else. Like, nah, I just like the song better. It just aged like wine. This, that. Yo, bro, I'll play Ether right now and rock to it. Rock to it, no problem. I don't understand that whole thing. It's rap and it's dope. The beat is better. It's like, I don't even care for the Takeover beat like that. And the Blueprint 2 doesn't get enough love. That song and Ether for me are like neck and neck.
There's a reason for that. I mean, obvious reason for that is the timing. It was just too late. I preferred that over Super Ugly. Super Ugly was terrible. I mean, yeah, it was vile and left condoms on your baby seat. Like that was some wild shit to say, man. To the point where his mom had to be like, "Yo, the fuck is this? Like, what are you doing? Nah, you going way too far now." I was not. I was so disappointed with Super Ugly. I was just like, that's when I heard it when they did the whole thing on Hot
But
97. They matched that up with Ethan. I was like, oh my god. Even Dame
but
Dash went on record and was like, Jay should have not. Now he went to Irv Gotti and they recorded that a few days later after they heard Ether because he felt like, yo, I gotta put something out there. It was rushed. It's just a reaction of just Ether being Ether. Like basically, yeah, like you said it. Nas played the dozens like no other,
so was
and
Jay-Z.
it
But
was
so was
scorn.
Jay-Z. Jay-Z was playing the dozens too. That's all diss records are. When it gets too serious, we all go.
Nas played the dozens like no other. Like what he did on Ether, that was some next shit, bro. It hurt to the point where you're listening to a record as a fan, and you're like, yo, bro, I was standing at my computer screen like, because I heard it way before. For some odd reason, that's when the internet was you could find exclusive music on certain sites. And Ether, I heard it before December 4th. I heard it like maybe 2 weeks before everyone heard. I heard it like November or some shit like that. And this is before we had social media, so it wasn't like it spread like wildfire. I was just waiting for all the dudes on my block. I was avoiding them because I knew it was coming. They knew I was the biggest Jay fan on the block. And once they heard it, because they weren't computer savvy like I was at that time, I was just waiting. And it took like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It felt like 2 weeks at that time. And man, did I get it? Did I hear the worst of that? The brunt of that?
I just remember it being cold outside. That's all I remember. I remember us going like my man K-Ron. We were all just like, exactly. I don't know what anyone like. It was, yes, it woke him up. I saw that somebody commented today on Instagram. Oh, that saved him. He sparked Nas to making Ether. What that ain't gonna. What does that have to do with the fact that Ether is now an adjective? It's a verb. It's just, it is what it is. It's a
I
L.
mean, listen.
Stop taking that away from him, bro. The same thing we just talked about
Jay,
Patrick Ewing. Stop taking that away. Don't take it away from Nas, bro. Like you stop doing that. It's just it's in history. Say it again.
Listen, my perspective is different from most Jay fans or stands you as you wouldn't say. Like I knew, like yo, this is not good. That was an L because I felt it. I like as a fan, super fan at that time. Like yo, I was like yo, man, what the fuck is he gonna respond with after this?
You know when the only other times I felt like that was when Pusha dropped that shit about Drake. That was oh no. I heard that and I said
It was great, but I didn't. No, it was dope. Don't get it twisted. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But emotional attachment wasn't there. Like I was like, all right, like I love Pusha T, but I'm like, it's not Nas and Jay. It's not Ethan Takeover. It didn't have that same It didn't have that feel, bro, at all. That 2001, that beef is in a league of its own, bro. Nah.
Yes.
That's just me, bro. I ain't nah.
Yes, but all I'm saying is I'm talking about just like we said, the bridge is over. No Vaseline. Hit 'em up. When these records came out, I was too young for No Vaseline, to be honest, and the bridge is over. But when you hear it, I can go, oh, I can see why they didn't come back from that. I can see why NWA never responded to that or didn't have anything for that. And we hit 'em up, it's like, I think I like certain songs, like you're saying. That's what you're saying. Like the songs about Pac that Big made on Life After Death, I like them. I love them. I just don't know if it's gonna rock like Hit 'Em Up. Like Hit 'Em Up just rocks. You could play that in the club. They were playing that in the club.
The shock value. It was just like, yo, it was just pure. It was vitriol. It was ether. It was fuck. First of all, fuck your bitch and the click you claim. Like he just can't. Ether. Fuck Jay-Z. You been on my dick, nigga. You love my. It was just straight raw. Like straight. Like, all right, you reached a point where like, yo, it's fuck you, motherfucker. Like it just felt like it hurt.
Yeah.
It was raw,
So
man. That's why those
even
two to me stand out. But look, but there's one thing I want to say before you go. See, these two records, Ether and Takeover, if these records are made for anyone else, because we've seen the effects of Takeover, Prodigy to me, I mean, he might have been falling off, but he was never the same after that. He didn't recover well from after that, after Takeover. But if these, he didn't, bro. I love Prodigy. He's my favorite rappers all time.
But we can stop right there for that. Prodigy was already falling off. I didn't care for that HNIC album. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like I look before that album, those 3 or 4 albums on Mobb Deep that he has nothing for those albums. The only one that he has is the Keep It Thorough song. And even that, his flow is different. But he was already falling off to me. Like everything he was saying about Jay-Z was like, that was okay, but you should not be sparring with Jay-Z. That's how I felt about Prodigy.
Anyway, but listen, what I was saying is, if these two records are made for anyone else outside of Jay-Z and Nas, if Ether's made for someone other than Jay-Z, or if Takeover or Super Ugly or Blueprint 2 is made for anyone other than Nas, those rappers are not. It's going to be pretty hard for those other rappers to recover. For Jay-Z to still bounce back after Ether is insane, because Jay kept going. A lot of, like you said earlier, a lot of people felt like it was over for Jay. Like, oh, he can't come back from this. He did. In fact, he got stronger. Like it was just like, all right, a lot of people felt like, yo, he like momentum is gone. Nah, man.
I understand the point, and
Jay kept going.
Again, that point is valid, especially at that time. But rap was already in a whole. We didn't realize it, that it was we were expecting these rappers to not last. They were like running backs. It was never expected for you to last long. For whatever reason, in the 80s, Rakim fell off. Kool G Rap fell off. Big Daddy Kane fell off. Even though I think Kool G Rap's flow it's kind of timeless on the low. But they're not.
This is my point.
Right. But by the time the 90s guys hit,
my point.